All right, so the Christian community right now is going crazy because President Vladimir Putin of Russia has recently unleashed 14th century pictures depicting Jesus Christ and his disciples and other people in the Bible as black. Okay, we're going to hop into this. I want y'all to see this. I think there's a little bit more that goes into this that people probably aren't paying attention to, okay? But nevertheless, let's hop into the video. Let's watch a couple things and see what exactly is going on here, okay? Before we do me a favor real quick. Hit that like button so YouTube can push this out to more people like you with the algorithm, okay? It helps a lot. I thank you guys very much. Let's hop into this video right now.
Its sellers to reveal remarkable paintings of Jesus dating back to the 1400s. Have you ever seen or heard of biblical icons where Jesus or the Virgin Mary have dark skin? Or even Abraham or King David? Then look beyond Europe. Russia has opened its vaults to reveal biblical icons featuring darker skinned figures. In case this is making you wonder if Russia has its own twist on biblical figures, the answer is a no. This is not the case at all. This is, a matter of fact, as real as the untouched horizon of time. These icons aren't just artistic anomalies. These hold deep meanings of hidden shaded truths, sparking serious, curious questions about history and faith, representation, and the unexpected corners of religious art. Pay close attention, amazing people. You are just about to hear it today, like it is, in this video. In the Bible that the Americans turned white when they told the stories to us. But Russians didn't get the memo. They went off for real history. Songs of Solomon. USA is also a great deceiver, and so many people inherit the wrong lesson from their great-grandparents and
time. There are pieces of art that were Angelo in Rome is currently hosting an exhibition of 40 Russian icons that have left their country for the first time. There are pieces of art.
Okay, so as you guys can see, they have these pieces of art. They have these artifacts and different pictures showing that Jesus, and along with other people, like you said, Abraham, King David, were of black descent, more so African descent. They look more, they're not just black, because black is a color, but if you're talking about ethnicity, they look like they're from Africa, right? Okay, well, we know this for sure. We know Jesus isn't white. We know that they weren't like Caucasian, right? Everyone can be clear that they were not Caucasian. They weren't European people, okay? Now, the question, if they were actually African, I think we need to dive a little more into that and see if they were actually African. I personally don't think they were African, okay? I think some people in the Bible were, because some people have traveled to Africa. They lived amongst the people in Africa, in Egypt and all that, in that area. But I don't, overall, were everyone in the Bible, were they African? I personally don't think so. Was Jesus an African? I don't believe so. He was born in Bethlehem, okay, which is Israel, which is kind of close to Africa, but not necessarily deep into Africa where they have these certain looks and certain skin colors and facial features, okay? Okay, this is a video of Vladimir Putin actually showing the picture, like this picture of Jesus being black. You can see the black hair, the dark hair, the dark beard. You know, it's an African person, okay? 14th century. So 14th century, what was that? A little less than 1,000 years ago. So it's not like these were like 300 AD or 1,000. It's close to 1,000, but not necessarily 1,000 AD. This was 14th century. So that's kind of a long ways away from the actual like birth and resurrection, death and resurrection of Jesus Christ and that whole thing. Okay, so people can come up with their own ideas. You have over 1,000 years to come up with pictures that to make a god or make these type of people look exactly like you. You know what I mean? Just like the Europeans did. So we gotta understand that part too.
The secret that European has been hiding from African for more than a millennium, that Jesus was black.
Okay, so in my opinion, I think there is some motivation to Vladimir Putin all of a sudden pulling this card, okay, releasing these artifacts. Not saying that they don't have any credibility. They possibly could. I'm not 100% on either way. I don't know 100% if they were, you know, of an African descent or not. One thing I do know is that Simon of Cyrene was the one who helped Jesus Christ carry the cross, and he was from Libya. Okay, and Libya is west of Egypt, so it's a little bit deeper in Africa. So he very well was black, okay, or of a darker color than the people that were in Israel, for sure. So I know that 100%. It's very well known that he was of a deeper, darker ethnicity. But I want you guys to see this video, okay, because this is going to clarify the motivation for him to pull this card at this time, okay? Let's watch this video real quick.
The U.S. losing to Putin, more than 1,000 U.S. military personnel getting kicked out of Niger, an essential military agreement falling apart. Niger, once a major American ally, turning instead to Putin. Russia has been feverishly working to expand its presence, not just in Niger, but across all of Africa, mineral-rich and many, many countries, with one top U.S. military official warning that several African nations are, quote, at the tipping point of falling under Russia's influence. Out front now, John Sullivan, the former U.S. ambassador to Russia. And ambassador, we have seen this in countries, Mali, Burkina Faso, across Africa. Now you've got 1,000 Americans kicked out of Niger, a 10-year deal over. This was a crucial location for U.S. troops, counter-terror efforts. Putin now gaining ground. Can you explain why this matters so much?
Okay, so, all right, so as she said, 1,000 Americans kicked out of Niger, okay? She said, I forgot how she pronounced it, but I call it Niger. Look at the influence that Vladimir Putin has in Africa. These countries are allies with Vladimir Putin. 1, 2, 3, he has 6 countries in Africa that is allies to him, okay? So you know what that means? And they may not even be Christian countries, because some of them don't look like they may be, but they are African countries. And so for him to make it seem as if, not make it seem, for him to pull this card and saying that Jesus and his disciples and the people in the Bible were black, it's showing that he is on the side of Africans, okay? So they're going to hopefully have favor with him, okay, and help him to continue to push his narrative and continue to fund his war and continue to bring him more equipment and whatever he's looking for, whatever he needs from these countries, okay? We got to remember who we're talking about here. Like I said, that's not saying that any of this is true. I'm just saying that's why he pulled this card, in my opinion. It's deeper than him wanting people to know the truth. It's an agenda behind it, okay? Okay, and so this right here is Pope Francis and Pope Emeritus, okay? I don't know who's the Pope right now or who's the leading Pope or whatever. They are bowing to a black image of what looks to be Jesus, okay? As you can see, this image right here is dark. Why are they bowing to this? That raises questions. You can't deny that it raises questions, okay? I've never seen this before. But I can imagine that if they are bowing to this darker descent of Jesus, which they are in Rome, okay? They're in Rome at the Vatican. I don't know if that's exactly the Vatican, but they're in Rome. They're bowing to this dark Jesus, okay? So that has to show some type of evidence that Jesus was not the Caucasian Jesus that the European people made him to be. In this, I believe it was like the 15 or 1600s or somewhere around there, where they drew a European version of him. We know that's not true, but we know this right here is questionable. So we know that Moses grew up in Egypt. We know that the Israelites were slaves in Egypt for 400 years. We know that Egypt is right next to Israel, as in it's not a far distance from Israel, okay? It's the distance is like me being in Ohio going to Indiana, okay? It's a 3-hour drive, so it's not a far distance. So with that being said, was Jesus Christ, King David, Solomon, were these people of color? Yes, they were. They were definitely, some of them were probably darker than me, okay? I am not that dark. Some were probably darker than me. That's the honest statement. Some were probably lighter than me. Okay, I don't believe everyone had the same exact skin color and facial features. You had the 12 tribes that spread out far across. And so that, yeah, it's probably, I'm leaning towards more of, yes, they are of color. Okay. I'm just not saying all of them were African. Okay. Like, I am an African American. So I came from Africa. My parents came from Africa, where probably along the west part of Africa where the slave trade happened at. Okay. And so that's a deeper part of Africa that is not close to Egypt and Israel and that whole area. Okay. So yes, I believe that Jesus Christ is of color. I'm not saying that he's African. But this is what really matters. If you heard all of that and you didn't get anything, this is what really matters. Okay. It doesn't matter the color of Jesus. It doesn't matter the color of Solomon, King David. It doesn't matter the color of Moses or any of them, okay? What matters is that you believe in Jesus, okay? The color of his skin doesn't mean anything. It's if you believe in him. Do you believe that he died on the cross and that he rose in 3 days and that he was the ultimate sacrifice for our sins and that he's also God? Okay, do you believe that? Do you believe that this Christian thing is real? Or do you think it's all fake fairy tales that was written by European people to try to enslave us even more? Like, do you have faith in Jesus Christ? That's what matters at the end. Because guess what? One thing is that with this thing right here comes pride. So people, there's Chinese Jesuses, okay? There's pictures of Chinese Jesus. There's African Jesus. There's European Jesus. There's Mexican Jesus. Everybody has their own picture of Jesus because we want him to look like us. But do we look like him is the question. Do you look like Jesus? Are you living life to look and resemble who Jesus was? That is what matters at the end, guys. Not his ethnicity, not his skin tone. Okay. Yes, he was from the tribe of Judah, from the root of David. He was an Israelite. Okay. All of that is true. He came to save the Israelites first, and then the Gentiles, the Jews, and then the Gentiles. That's all of that is true. But what matters most is if you actually know him, not what his skin color is. That ain't going to save you. It ain't going to get you nowhere. You go to heaven or hell, skin color don't matter. Okay, guys? So I believe that Vladimir Putin put this out to spread his agenda, trying to gain more. He's trying to gain more popularity in Africa, okay? But I'm glad he did put it out because there is truth to it, okay? These people were definitely colorful. Just don't know if they look like that exactly. Anyways, look, let me know what you guys think about this video in the comment section, okay? Hopefully you guys learned something. Let me know if I missed out on anything, okay? If you're new to the channel and you like what you see, I encourage you, hit that subscribe button and also hit the post notification bell so that you don't miss another one of my videos, okay? My name is Aaron Page. I will catch y'all on the next video. Until next time, I'm out.